this is going to be the very, very first time you fought down at 205. You look pretty slender, DC. Not going to lie to you. How's the weight cut been going for you?
It's going really good. You know, I've got a great sponsor. You know, in Nutri, they take care of all my supplements and everything for me, and it helps. You know, along with obviously dieting. Eating a little bit healthier. You know, I generally don't like the healthy stuff. It doesn't taste very good to me. I would much rather have red beans and rice or gumbo or something.
Okay.
But
where are you at right now?
Probably about 227.
Okay.
Which is about 20 pounds overweight, which is good. You know, when I was
not bad
wrestling
at all.
211, I would weigh up to 245, 247.
I think a lot of critics have also said it's not going to be safe for you to drop down to that weight. They point to a track record, right? 2008, you had a kidney issue.
You know, it is real. You know, I did have issues with my kidney back in 2008 at the Olympian Games.
Due to the weight cut?
Due to the weight cut. But it cost me because I did things for so long. Whereas now I diet and I try to get lighter, I wouldn't do that before. I would eat whatever I wanted, and then I would just suck off massive amounts of weight just to get on the scale. It didn't matter if I had to crawl to the scale. I had to get on the scale at 211, and then when I was done, I was going to go and rehydrate. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm taking a safe approach, and I've been trying to get to a point where I'm in striking distance. You know, my coaches all feel very confident now that where I'm at, it's a safe distance from where I need to be on February 21st at 4 p.m.
I don't want you to look past Rashad. I know you won't. But if you do get past Rashad, everyone's going to be clamoring, obviously, for Jon Jones. Can you talk about where that rivalry developed, and obviously it's kind of taken a life of its own?
You know, we met back in 2010, and he saw me in the back with Cain Velasquez and decided that because of how awkward he is socially, he decided that he was going to insult me to strike up a conversation. He insulted me to strike up a conversation, which is probably the dumbest thing you can do to someone. And he said I was mad because he didn't know who I was. I didn't expect him to know who I was. Nobody knows who wrestlers are. I mean, why would I think it should be different by Jon Jones, who's making his way up to the thing?
No doubt.
I think the guy's a phenomenal athlete. I think he's socially awkward, doesn't really know how to approach people, and that's why he has so many enemies. And that's where it all started. Where it's going to end is when him and I get in the cage. Rashad Evans is my tough fight. Jon Jones won't be as tough for me as Rashad Evans will be. No chance.
Explain that.
Just because I think that I have the ability to make him do things that he won't want to do in a cage. I'll make him quit.
He's got great explosiveness. He's a great grappler. You think this Rashad Evans fight will be tougher?
It's much tougher. Rashad Evans will be a much tougher fight for me because we've trained together.
Is it that you don't respect Jon's striking?
I respect Jon a ton. I think he's the greatest mixed martial artist on the planet right now, pound for pound, best fighter in the world. But when him and I match up, I think I'm better. I don't know if I can beat Alexander Gustafsson or Rashad Evans, but I know that if I stand across the cage from Jon Jones, champion or no champion, I can beat him. Jon Jones can insult me as much as he wants and talk about me as much as he wants. The ultimate insult to him will be if I get that championship belt, whether it be from him or someone else. You know, so it's like that's the insult. I don't want to take shots at him in the media like we've been doing for the last 3 years.
If he goes to heavyweight, could you see a scenario where you chase him up there?
No. I'm going to try to be a champion. I'm 34, man. I'm about to be 35 in March.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm not chasing nobody just for fights. But I want to be the champion more than I want to fight Jon Jones, 110%.
Okay, there you go. Let me switch gears a little bit. Where you've gotten to in your career, to me, is a remarkable thing. If I can, I'd love to ask you a tough question here. You've been through some trials and tribulations in your personal life. Do you want to explain that?
Well, you know, a lot of people we all have a cross to bear, you know, and mine has been dealing with tragedy over the course of my life. You know, when I was 7 years old, my dad got shot and killed. When I was 23, back in 2003, my daughter actually died in a car accident when she was 3.5 months old. And I think the key is how do you come out on the other side of all of this? Does it break you? Or does it empower you? Does it make you stronger? And that
would have broken many men.
And that's why losing an MMA fight doesn't really bother me. The thought of losing an MMA fight doesn't bother me. Because I know that if I can lose these people that were so special to me, I can actually come back from that and be where I am today. I can come back from losing an MMA fight. I can come back from losing 5 MMA fights.
But Still, though, when I ask you about the personal tragedies you've had in your life, I can kind of see you going back to those moments. How do you draw upon those moments? What are you thinking about right now? What's going on inside the mind of Daniel Cormier?
Well, I mean, it's just, it's very sad. It's stuff that, you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, to have to bury a baby or on a holiday, get a phone call that your father's been killed. But
and that happened on a holiday.
It did, on Thanksgiving when I was 7 years old. My dad had remarried, and he got into a fight with his father-in-law, and he got, he shot him and killed him. So it's one of those things you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. But, when I think about it, I think back to how much it motivates me, because I know that if my dad was here, he'd be proud of me. And I know that if my daughter was here, I would be providing her a life that she could live comfortable. She'd be proud to see that I've accomplished the things that I've accomplished. And everything I do is in honor of those people.